talk about a little bit about what you were doing kind of during the 90s and then leading up to when you were conscripted into Saddam's army.
So, as you said in the introduction, I studied architecture. I loved architecture. I love doodling, so I thought architecture is the best field
Can
for
I
that.
can I ask you real quick? Sorry to interrupt you. Did you do the drawings in the book?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's see, I was so when I because I was doing the audiobook, I was like, oh, I'm missing these illustrations. So everybody out there, a bonus you get with the paper copy is Ghaith's illustrations that are very well done. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue, please.
So I studied architecture, graduated in the late 90s as an architect, and I was, as every male Iraqi, you had to do your military service, compulsory military service. And I went there and I saw the conditions of the soldiers and I saw how they are treated basically like slaves, kind of being uh, pushed around by these kind of NCOs and the humiliation. And I just turned around and went back home. I think I wore a military uniform half a day or something. But I never served. And it's not only me. I mean, in the 90s, desertion was really, was really high because of the conditions, because of the poverty, because of the regime was weaker. I have to say something important that had I deserted in the 80s, I wouldn't have lasted more than a week or a month. But because after the 90s, the regime was weak, the security forces were weakened, corrupt, and that's how I could fake ID cards, do different kind of ways to dodge these kind of checkpoints in the streets were designated for capturing
So what year is
military.
this that you
So,
desert?
so kind of from 1998
Okay.
and until 2003.
And it's that easy. You went, you put on a uniform, and you're like, oh, this isn't this, I don't want to be here. And you
Yep,
just left.
I just left again. I could do it because it's because an architect I had like a engineering a member of an ID card that says I'm an engineer, so that allowed me to pass through checkpoints. I mean, of course, I was trapped in the country. I couldn't leave, couldn't get a passport because you can't get any of the papers without. I moved to my residence. I would change my residence every couple of weeks, couple of months, moved from one place to another, and I survived again because the weakness within the security forces, not because I was. It was risky. Now I'm thinking of it. I think it's just like it was very risky.
So what did people think when was it pretty common for people to desert? What did your family say when you came back home after just being in the army? Were they scared for you or was this so
I
common
mean,
that
one of
not
the things
really?
I had to leave the house because because that's the first place where they come look for you in back into your house with your family. So I had to move out of the house, live different places. Um, and at that time the punishment for desertion was you know cutting off one ear and being branded a coward on your forehead.